I told y'all. Man, look, one of my subscribers asked me, Coach, I want to hear your thoughts about the whole Vince McMahon FBI raid situation. Well, I'm going to tell you this, okay? The FBI, they don't come to you. The feds don't come to you unless they got everything they need to indict you. And if you have any dealings with the FBI, you pretty much know they got you, okay? They're not just going to show up at your house for a social call. When they come and they raid your house, they got you, okay? They got enough information now, but they're raiding your house or your property to actually put the icing on the cake, okay? Yeah, the FBI raiding Vince McMahon's house means that they want Vince. They trying to get Vince to do some serious time, okay? And I'm talking about they're trying to get so much stuff on Vince that they're trying to put Vince away probably for the rest of his life. Now, because of who Vince McMahon is affiliated with, him doing like long, hard time, it's not going to happen, okay? And if he do any kind of time, they're going to put him in like a minimum security federal prison where, it'll just be like he out and he'll get what he want in there. And just it'll be a lot of nonsense. Vince McMahon, he's not going to do a lot of hard time. If y'all got to understand, Vince McMahon got a pass. I mean, now I'm going to say alleged, okay? I'm going to say alleged to stuff that we already know. But the FBI, they've been trying to get a hold of Vince McMahon. They've been trying to bring him down for decades. They've been trying. And it's just, they haven't necessarily had all the necessary information and the documentation to bring him down. But they feel like they got him now. So they raided his house. I mean, Vince McMahon has been questioned in the murders, okay, of several, different promoters of wrestling organizations. See, Vince, back in the day, Vince McMahon, he's not who you see on TV. He's not like this weak, wrestling promoter that the wrestlers can just beat his ass. That's not him, okay? On the flip end, Vince McMahon, these wrestlers, many of them, they're terrified of the guy. Vince used to be strong muscle back in the day. When Vince McMahon's dad, was in charge of the WWE, it wasn't the WWE back then. But, Vince was like, he was strong muscle. And Vince would go to these other organization territories, and he would either make these guys sell, and if they wouldn't sell, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, if they wouldn't sell, Vince McMahon got rid of these people. Okay, whether he murdered or and some of these people mysteriously disappeared. Okay, Vince McMahon was the strong muscle behind all of that. And he went in there, and Vince even said, he said it on one show, it was a while ago. Vince McMahon said, before the WWE, wasn't the top organization, he said, I took out my competition. I took him out, and I took what was mine. Like, he said that. But guys, he telling you the literal truth. See, people didn't understand what Vince was talking about. But Vince told you the truth. He said, I went and took what was mine. Vince took them guys out. Them guys, they either gave in because they didn't, want their whole family murdered, or a lot of those wrestling promoters, their asses disappeared. They gone. Can't find them, no traces of them. And some of them were murdered. Okay? Wrestlers, a lot of them, they're terrified to death of Vince because, Vince got a lot of connections. Okay? And definitely a lot of mafia ties. A lot of ties to the mafia. That's why him and Dana White, they're so tight because they both got the same mafia ties. But Vince McMahon is a trick. Okay? He's done a whole lot of stuff. I mean, we can do a history, man. Vince McMahon, this ain't the first time this guy been accused of raping somebody or sexual assault or, just paying somebody to shut up. Okay? See, Vince, he's done this kind of thing for years, but he sexually assaulted women. Vince don't have a preference. If you guys remember Patterson and Briscoe, these two guys, Patterson and Briscoe, they got so many, pedophilia charges on their name. Okay, these guys been involved with trying to shake wrestlers down for sexual favors. Patterson and Briscoe were. Okay, these guys were, trying to actually blackmail wrestlers and to, say, hey, we can help you, become a name, but you got to do something for us. That kind of stuff. I mean, these guys are known sexual predators. But guess what? Vince McMahon, when he hired these guys, people were kind of questioning, like, why would he hire these guys? And when they fired these guys, when their past came to light, Vince McMahon brought them back. There was a segment by, I want to say it was by Triple H. And Triple H, see, y'all got to listen to some of these wrestling promos when they start doing what's called a pipe bomb. Listen to these pipe bombs because these wrestlers, they tell a lot of truth. And Vince don't care about these pipe bombs because people are gullible when they watch WWE shows. People don't believe it. Everybody thinks it's an act. But Triple H said something one day, and it's crazy because Triple H was talking about all the people who Vince, was screwing. And he pulled out Sable. Then he pulled out like this other blonde haired woman. I forgot her name. It was Sable. It was I think it was Lillian Garcia he talked about. It was I'm trying to think. It was another Trish Stratus. Yeah. Now Trish Stratus, that was Vince McMahon boo. Like they was an item. And then Patterson and Briscoe. Like crazy. And Triple H was saying Vince don't care. Vince will give everybody loving. And y'all remember that whole time Vince created that Kiss My Ass Club where like Patterson and I think it was either Patterson or Briscoe, one of them two, on national TV, Vince McMahon pulled his drawers down and they kissed Vince McMahon on the butt. But that's how they got down. That's nothing new. That's how they got down. And Vince McMahon was liking it. Oh, he was liking it when one of them dudes kissed his ass. Vince has been under a whole lot of scrutiny. Even mysterious wrestler deaths that they think that Vince McMahon, had a part in, allegedly. Now, I'm saying allegedly with all this information. But they think that this guy's had a part in some of that stuff. So now we bring it back to the feds, okay? The federal government, Vince McMahon has been one of those people, man, that he's been getting away with a lot of stuff for a long time. And now they're at the point to where they got him. They damn near got him. Now, it depends on how much information and how much stuff they got to indict him on, okay? Because, to get like a big wig like Vince McMahon, you're going to have a lot of stuff because, he's very good at covering his tracks. But see, Vince is a trick. And so Vince got caught up, paid some girl $3 million, but Vince, dumbass, paid him from the WWE accounts instead of his own personal accounts. That was stupid, okay? Now, Vince paid that money back in tenfold, but he paid it from the WWE account. Think about it, okay? You want to hush somebody up because you did something to him, okay? And ain't no telling. Vince probably raped her. Vince probably, Vince, they crazy, man. They into like, fisting people. Like, they get down like that, okay? Vince McMahon is like a sexual deviant. He get down like that. And this girl probably, felt some kind of way about it. Or, probably because Vince, probably wouldn't even deal with it like that on that level. He was just using her for what he was getting, using her for sex. And guess what? She probably checked out, probably said, nope, I'm going to sue Vince. And so Vince was like, nope, you can ruin my whole life. You can ruin my career. Let me go on and pay you this money. And he paid her. Isn't that funny, man? Hush money. It's supposed to be hush money, but the FBI found out about the hush money. Anytime you pull a large sum of money out of an account like the WWE, they're going to know about it. And now the WWE is public. It's public now. It's public. So the FBI found out about it. They began investigating more of that. And now we're at this point now to where they feel like they got Vince McMahon ass. They got him. They're not going to stop until they get him some jail time. Just like they're coming after Donald Trump. Just like they were coming after Dana White for a minute. They're not going to stop until they get enough evidence or information on Vince to put him away. I just think some of the stuff that he's been able to get away with is completely asinine. Like, maybe they're not going to they're not going to get him for those murders and some of those missing people for 30 years ago. But some of the sexual assaults, and moreover, y'all, it's other stories. It's other stories where, they was talking about how Vince, they used to pass certain wrestlers around like the Ultimate Warrior. Then they said they used to pass that dude around, man. Like pass him around to some of Vince's rich friends back in the day so they can invest more into the WWE's, personal portfolio. Like crazy stuff. And I tell you, I talked to a wrestler. And I tell you who that is behind the scenes. And people keep saying, Coach, get the Patreon started. Get it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get it. Hold on. Let me put my seatbelt back on. I'm going to go ahead and get this Patreon started because I got so much stuff that I can try to share. Put my seatbelt on. But some of this, you can't share it on YouTube, man. It's just, I'm kind of so sick of YouTube as a platform. I'm sick of it, man. You can't share some stuff. But there's a wrestler that I actually talked to. And she told me straight up. She said, Coach, she said, the sexual harassment that I get all the time is insane. Like the sexual harassment that I get is insane. And I'm like, whoa. Because there's one wrestler, I went to school with her. And so she was telling me, we kept in touch. And, you know, she was telling me, well, they done forced certain wrestlers to quit. But I don't even know if you guys remember a wrestler named Shaniqua. I don't know if y'all remember Shaniqua. AKA, her name is Linda Miles. You know, she left the WWE. She left, and now she's a teacher now. But, you know, she was talking about, you know, how she was mistreated. Miss Jazz was talking about some of the sexual stuff that was going on. And I interviewed Miss Jazz, and I know Miss Jazz. They was talking about how, like, some of the sexual stuff that, you know, these people say, and, you know, they get touched on and felt up and, you know, just like all kind of stuff. But then what they'll tell you to do is, well, don't sell it. Don't sell it. You know, somebody can come and, you know, grab you by the ass or touch you in your private areas. Don't sell it. Or, you know, this one wrestler was telling me about how she would be in her locker room. How she'd be in her locker room. And she said straight up, Vince McMahon came up in her locker room. She told me straight up, Vince McMahon walked up in that locker room. And, you know, we were talking about it, but I have to really tell you, you know, what she said and how it was crazy. And I'm going to tell you why I believe the story. I believe the story because what she was telling me, you can't really you can't elaborate a story like that. And not only did she tell me this story, she didn't flinch. She didn't flinch. She ain't flinch like a movement in her body. She never flinched. She told this story with a straight face. But, you know, either way, you know, they're going to get Vince. They're going to get him. They're going to get him. And when they do get him, it ain't going to mean a damn thing. It's not going to mean anything because Vince, they're not going to have enough on him. And he's going to, well, no, they're going to have enough on him. But guys like Vince, they don't do hard time in jail. They not. They're going to get him out of there. Okay, they're going to get him, but then he's going to be out of jail right before you know it. And that's just how it is. Unfortunately, though, how many more people are going to suffer? And how many more people are going to have to live in terror?